Hey guys, how you doing? It's the Intuitive Investor from StockTwits. Wanted to just talk to you very briefly about FSDDF. That's another company that I just got into 3 weeks ago. As you know, I am a very high-risk investor. I involve myself in speculative stocks that have potential to be multi-baggers. That's just who I am. That's just the nature of how I trade. In general, I look for investments that are risky but can be very rewarding, and FSDDF has sort of fit the bill for that. The graph that I have behind me is really just a 1 month of what's been going on with the stock. It's been doing very well since then. I think I've noted close to about 44% return, I think. No, actually like a 30% return in just a short time, and I'm all about that. So who are they and what do they do? FSDDF, I know it's a bit of a tongue twister and I'm probably going to wreck their name at some point. They're a licensed producer based out of Cobourg, Canada, and of course it's Canadian stock. And really their mission is to become the largest indoor hydroponic growth facility, not only in the country but in the world, and I think that they are going to be able to do that. In fact, they're on point to do that. We'll get back to some other graphs that I have to show you. Hopefully I can pull them up where they show just how much potential they have. But yes, they're also cross-listed, so they're also in Canada, here in the States, and they're also in Frankfurt. If you do the research, you'll be able to find the ticker symbols, but right off the top of my head, they're listed as HUGE in Canada, HUGE. Here, as you can see, they're at FSDDF. And in Frankfurt, they're known as 0K9. Although when I did the research, I wasn't able to find them until I actually put FSD, and then the rest of it came up. So I was able to find them there. One of the first questions that I had is, why are they cross-listed in 3 different countries? What I gathered and from what I was able to search is that many companies do this to expose themselves for strategic reasons, for future partnerships and acquisitions. So obviously that was extremely positive, and to me that was something that in my mind said, okay, so obviously they're not just thinking about here, they're thinking globally. So good. Let's take a look here. So what are they up to? On September 20th, they had announced that a $7.5 million at $1 per share agreement investment with their existing alliance, Auxly. Yes, that Auxly. So in my mind, I'm thinking this thing's at 64 cents. I think it closed, yes, 69 cents in the aftermarket, but it was at 64 cents. To me, that's guaranteed money. I can't see why that stock should not continue to grow and get to that dollar range. So to me, that's 65 cents. What is that? 35% increase. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I can't imagine why it wouldn't hit that dollar target. As to when, I think it'll probably get there within the next couple of weeks, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. But when I see that, and that was on the 20th, that's actually really good news. What else? So on September 19th, they had also announced that they had upgraded to OTC QB, which is the middle tier of all the pink sheets. It's pink, OTC QB, and OTC QX, I think. That's the way it goes for over the counter. But they didn't want to stop there. Earlier in the month, I think it was September 11th, they had made a statement that they made a statement. Let me keep it easy. They made a statement that they were not going to stop at over the counter. Their intent was to continue and fully list on NASDAQ, and they made an agreement with their medical director or their clinical director or some director within their program, Dr. Bukhari, that the conditions of the shares that they were going to offer him would be contingent that it gets listed on NASDAQ or it gets acquired by a company that's already on NASDAQ. So to me, they're not just thinking here and now. They're already thinking 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, whatever it takes to get on NASDAQ. So to me, being uplisted is going to open up even more doors to institutions, big money, and if they already have the global outreach, they're already in Canada, they're already in the States, and they're already in Germany for any European stuff going on over there, to me, perfect. On the 18th, they also inked a deal with Cantab Therapeutics. They specialize on oral dosage formulation, so they're more on the medical side of things. And they also trade on the Canadian Stock Exchange. You can find them under PILL, P-I-L-L. So that deal will give us 50% of all their profits. So wonderful. There are also partnerships with Cannara Biotech, which plans on growing their largest indoor facility in Quebec. Of course, these are the kinds of things that I look for when I read. Obviously, this company is a smaller cap, but they have big dreams. They're making some partnerships. They're making some acquisitions. This past month to 2 months has been extremely busy for them. And that's the reason why we see this. If we look over here, we see that the stock was kind of teetering within the under 20-cent range for like the longest time. And it's almost seeming like they were all cooking up all these ideas, and just kind of like in September, they all gathered around and said, let's bring it all out. Because then in September, everything began to just grow. And as you can see, starting September 5th, right up to today, we've seen an enormous increase. So my thoughts are, now the news is starting to come out. Now everything that they've been working hard is starting to come to fruition. And that's exactly where I want to be. I want to be right here. I had always been wondering, when I'd been looking at charts and I'd been looking at companies who had blown up, and I said, why can't I be the guy that was right here? Why can't I be the guy that bought here? Well, in order to buy here, number one, you do have to be a little lucky. There's just no other way around it. Number two, you have to research. You have to go online, put the work in, research the companies, find something that you like. For me, I look for companies that are up and coming, speculative. In fact, one of my IPOs I still hold on to. And I kind of just don't do that, but I've been holding it for almost 4 years. But here, why can't I be this guy that buys here? Well, you can. I bought right here. Right here. I didn't buy here, but I bought here, which I'm okay with, because now it's up there. And guess what? It's going to continue to grow. So we went back and we were talking about hydroponic, and we were trying to talk about indoor. What's the big deal with indoor? Well, check this out. Here's something very interesting. They may not have the biggest facility, right? They may not have it. They may not have the biggest facility in the world, but what they do have is to aspire to have the largest indoor facility. And you know what that means? Probably doesn't mean much to anybody, but let me tell you the reason why that's a good thing. What's the growing season in Canada or in America? What is the average growth season in any of those countries? I'll tell you, I did the research. It's about 170 days in the most pristine conditions. 170 days, a little bit more than that, in the most ideal, pristine weather conditions. Do you know how many days the growth season could be in an indoor growth facility? 365 days, every day of the year, every day of the year. And so there's no one competing for that. FSD Pharma is the only one. Is the only one. Do you hear that? Everyone else will be able to produce just 50% of what FSD is going to be able to produce. And that's provided that Mother Nature cooperates, that the sun shines, no acts of God, that it rains, no pestilence, no rodents, no insects are destroying your crops. You don't have that problem with indoor. So that's why FSD Pharma, oh my God, it's like the secret weapon. They'll have the purest conditions. And when you're producing marijuana for medical reasons, this is as clean as it gets, guys. They're already in Canada. They're already here in the States. And now they've got operation out in Europe. This thing is going to explode, guys. It's a risk. I'm willing to take the risk. I've already seen some return, but I think it's going to get better. They got aspirations to list on NASDAQ. They've made some partnerships. Go online, go to their website. They made some partnerships. For me, in my mind, throw a little bit of money to it if you want to. I've made an investment. I've been with them for about 3 weeks. I've continued to see some of this news come out, and to me, it's all positive. So guys, do your due diligence. If you don't believe anything that I've just finished saying, go to their website. I think it's FSD Pharma Inc, I believe. FSDPharma.com. Go to their website, download their investor deck, and you'll be able to look at all the details. The most recent one came out August 23rd of this year, and you'll be able to see everything that they're doing, everything they intend to do. But these guys are going to be the largest in the world. And you know how much weed they're going to be able to produce once everything gets locked in and running? Take a wild guess. They'll be able to produce, if I'm correct, if I remember this number, 880,000 pounds. 880,000 pounds of the most purest, greenest weed. It has to be. It's medical grade. Who else is growing that much cannabis in a single year? I really don't know that answer, by the way. So if any of my viewers can do some research and let me know if there's another producer that is going to be able to produce more than 880,000 pounds, then include it in the comment section, because I would like to know. I really would. So guys, do your due diligence, do your homework, take a shot at it. I did. I'm going to stay with this company because I kind of like the way that it's going. And I really like that concept of already being in 3 different countries and also having aspirations of having the largest indoor growth facility. Forget about it. So guys, it's the Intuitive Investor. If you haven't already subscribed to me, go ahead and do so. And if you're on StockTwits, don't forget to add me. As you know, the Intuitive Investor.